echoing what everyone else has already said. Love this community. I love what we're building here. I'm learning so much from amazing friends and the amazing minds we've got in here. Long may it continue. I'm looking forward to the future.
Awesome. All right, likewise. Well, thanks everyone for giving those bios. We're going to keep this going. I'm going to transition right into the next topic. So the history of BYG and Vig. I think Jedi and Big Yield are going to handle this, and Big Yield's on yet. So Big Yield, you want to start us off with this?
I guess just day one, like really the formation of it was going into Discord and realizing there was a lot of misinformation, a lot of rumors, a lot of this, like nobody knew why they were buying space or what space was, and so really as I went into the different guilds, it was mainly like TBA. I think Inner Core was around that time. This is like December. I mean, some of the guilds are even gone, like PX. So went in there and just really wasn't much concentrated information for big time, and I felt like I knew more, and a lot of the people that I was chatting with knew more about the game than these guilds, and they had other games that they were focused on. It wasn't a warm welcome. It wasn't really, there was immature audience. It just was not feeling right looking for a guild. So it just came about where it was time to start our own. I had a pretty substantial amount of space. I mean, it's not that big now. There's, obviously Murky and some of these guys are accumulating huge amounts. But at the time, collaborated, bumped into Jedi, a few other people in Discord, and started just realizing that we really were a good concentration of wealth and knowledge, and we were having fun. I don't know how I convinced Jedi to come hang out with me at Discord solo, but here he is with his glasses, me and him, almost day one, but yeah, so no, really, like, and then, Meal came in, Zal, Elias, like literally January was, recruiting some of the more just smartest people I've met in real life, and then also along the games, and just realizing that these people probably would be good friends in real life. As well as people that I can go into this investment, know that collectively we're going to have the most intelligent, forthright information, and we can make the best decisions. Sure, we don't have all the info from big time. Collectively, the group of guys that we've assembled, our leadership team, also the community, Murky, Shindo, whoever else has contributed, Born, or the guys that are gaming and really bringing a lot of value to the community. That's what we're looking for. So long story short, that's the history of where we've come from, kind of where I see where we're at, and just we'll keep stacking some of the smartest people in the community. And in the end, I think we'll have the brightest and smartest people that we can make the best decisions for both the gamers and the investors that are in our community. Sorry, Jedi, did I steal your thunder, baby?
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, No. Oh, come on. I have more. There's always more with the Jedi. Okay. Like, anyways, I'll pull out the saber. No, seriously. It's just amazing the way it worked. I had talked to Thor Alexander on LinkedIn. I'd researched this thing. I mean, it was a dream come true, actually. Like, to be able to potentially play a video game where there could be economy and like you could actually get some money from it. I was like all over it. But just like Jeremy said, Thor told me I needed to join a guild. That's all I'd known. I'd never actually played a game on a computer before. I'd only done consoles, but I was just so pumped, and I went in to big time. Found Jeremy, like, became the first member, like, yeah, he's like, well, I got a kind of a good thing going here, and like, he's a salesman, he sounds like we got lots of potential, and I know lots of people, and I didn't even know I was the first member at first, but jumped in and just took off from there. Just seeing the potential of this got me excited. Jeremy got me excited. Then, Kakupa, Elias, Zalrock, like all these guys came, and like just everybody came together, and it just seemed like the perfect combination. And it was just a beautiful thing that we were, positive, excited, and, these brilliant minds that could really take this game, I think even more so than further than even the big time project knew. Lots of these ideas and everything have just been awesome. And so then we kind of took BYG, grew to 2,000 people, and it was just amazing. But we realized that I got to go back to one thing. Big Yield, like there is no BYG or VIG without Big Yield. Like he put his blood, sweat, and tears into this thing. No, I mean 24/7 he was on there. And I just want to thank him for that, because that's why we have a community, and that's why this thing is going to rock. That being said, there was some pushback and just some complications with the BYG, so we had to move on in order to reach our potential, and we'll probably go into that a little further later on. But I don't know. The history's been amazing, but I'm more excited about the future. So we will make Big Time be great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the
All right,
kind
well,
words. I just want to say, John, real quick, Dustin and I,
Yep.
we're like brothers from another mother. We kind of look alike a little bit, maybe even related. So I appreciate the kind words, bro.
I was a musician. I'm telling. I mean, nothing against your mom, but you never know.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Go ahead, John.
No worries. I love it. All right, guys. Thanks. And again, we'll have some time later to ask other questions if people have, want some more insight into the transition or some of the decisions that were made. So I'm happy to speak more about it. But to keep things going, I'm going to talk a little about our guild vision right now. So the original vision for BYG, if you guys remember or read our vision statement, it was to create an investor-centric guild that connects investors and gamers in one community. And we certainly stand by that, and that's still the main focus of the guild. However, sorry, was that? Yeah. After seeing how much support would be needed on the gaming side, especially with main launch coming up, we did make the decision recently to elevate a couple key guild members into new gaming officer roles to help support that side of the game, the gamer side. We have the investor side pretty covered, so need more resources on the gamer side. So today we'd like to announce that Murky, Miso, and Shindo will be taking on that new leadership role. Full details on their responsibilities are still being worked out, but they'll essentially serve as the voice for the gamers. What do gamers need from the guild or from the Discord? What the gamers need from Big Time? We're happy to serve as and will serve as a go-between with Big Time. We have a presence in this space, and they do listen to us. At least when we ask questions, they answer us. It's not always the answer we want or the amount of information we're looking for. I mean, we all see that they're very tight-lipped on things, but we at least have that channel, and we're happy to use it. And they do acknowledge our scale. So we do want to use it. So these guys are going to help organize tournaments. We're going to develop some in-game strategies, those sort of things. So just want to say congrats to those guys. They did a really great job with our first big event, and really appreciate all the hard work they put into that. Some more details to follow on those positions and how they're going to integrate into the big structure. Once we've had a chance to game plan with those guys a bit more, this really just happened. Once we have a chance to game plan, we're going to build out the vision on the gaming side a bit further, and maybe even host another AMA more focused on the gaming side. For now, I just say, as it relates to our vision on the gaming side, I'd say that we're going to continue to recruit and onboard big-time players. It's a big focus of ours. Scale means scale. People talk about having a big guild a lot, but scale does mean a lot, especially in a game with a marketplace like Big Time. If we're able to corner the market in any way, that just adds value to everybody that's holding any of these NFTs or space or cosmetics. So we're going to continue to hit hard with the recruiting. We really want to build camaraderie between guild members. We're obviously doing that through Discord. So that's certainly a focus. Having a centralized location for people to come together and have fun playing Big Time, whether that's through VCs, other chat channels, events, tournaments. We'll continue to push that and make sure that we're dedicating attention to those efforts. Since once we really scale, we envision gamers being the majority of the guild, right, in terms of numbers. So we want to make sure that we're supporting that area of the guild, and we really believe we got the right guys in the place to help lead that effort with us. On the investor side of the business, now at a high level, our current strategy, I'd say, is to leverage data and analytics in a way that maximizes earning potential for our guild members. So those that own space, utilities, or cosmetics, we're really putting a lot of effort, and this is where our backgrounds come into play. We're putting together tools that help you make these investment decisions. You know, when you're deciding what to buy or when to buy it, what to sell, when to sell it, we're using things like advanced database analytics, website data collection, everything that Woz is doing on the website. Data is power in this regard, and us being able to capture that data, turn it into information that we can act on. That's going to be a big value add, especially when we're able to share it with the guild and have that presence and be able to make punch beyond our weight essentially in the marketplace. We're working also on building out more guides and tools associated with space configurations, for example, and once we get more information, how to approach the NFT upgrade process. So let's talk about what's available today and what's on the horizon. What are we looking to do in the future? So today, I'd say the big resources at your fingertips are in our Guild Resources channel. Emil's been heading up those reports. For those that aren't using it and are actively buying or selling in the marketplace, I really encourage people to use them on a daily basis. And when you're having coffee in the morning, go and take a look, because the information is, I don't think anybody else in the game, any other guild, is really working with the level of data that we're working with. So hats off to Emil for putting those reports together, and we're going to build that out as we get more data from Big Time. So that's the resources in Discord. Also our website, of course, this is Woz. In particular, our chart section, that actually pulls data from Big Time Marketplace on the fly. So you're really seeing very up-to-date information, and you're able to see a time series for any of the cosmetics in the marketplace or space or mystery boxes, right? So you can see when maybe is a good time to enter or exit the market based on that information. One tool that I think is very underutilized, and some people may be a little hesitant to get involved because it does require you to log into our website with your Discord ID, but that is our portfolio tracking tool. So with this, it allows you to pull your NFT inventory directly from the Big Time Marketplace and into our website database, and you can manage your portfolio on our website. The good thing about this is you never have to enter your Big Time credentials, so you're not giving that away. You're not logging that on our website. It's really just your Discord ID just to show you're a member of the guild. Excuse me. And then once you have it entered once, every time you come back to the website, you're always going to see your collection there. And as you buy more pieces, you can update that collection and have a sense of how's your portfolio doing, and where may I be lacking? Where could I potentially pick up something that may be at a good price point right now? So please try that out. The backside of that tool is we're able to use that anonymized data to get a sense of what is our guild holding from an NFT perspective. I know we asked about what space you hold when you join the guild, but obviously a lot of people make purchases after they join, and people may not have owned anything at the time they joined. If you're logging that information into our website, we're able to access that. Again, we wouldn't be able to tell whose pieces own, who owns which pieces, but to be able to say that we own X amount of space, X amount of cosmetics, that allows us to then better strategize how we approach the cosmetic upgrade process once we have information there, and space configurations, and it's helpful for a recruiting tool. So if anybody has questions on how to go about getting themselves set up in there, you can come to any of the leadership team members, and we'd be happy to help you there. For the future, so from a guild resource perspective, we're looking to build out tools that help you configure your space and your utility inventory based on goals that you're trying to accomplish. So if you're trying to max out token production, or if you're trying to upgrade NFTs, we're working through ways for you to work with your existing inventory and to figure out how best to position that, where to link, your rare with your exalted, and where to put your cosmetics, your utilities, and so forth. So working on that, and hopefully we have something that's helpful in that regard, because I haven't seen that in the market yet. We're continuously working with Big Time, or at least this is more us asking Big Time for access to market activity. So this is more like buy and sell data. So who's holding what, how many whales are there out there, who's selling? Because market like this, a young market like this, you often see that one or two individuals can really make an impact on the market. So we want to be able to differentiate between a trend where a lot of people are exiting a particular set of cosmetics, or is it just one guy coming in and buying 200 SIR titles, right? And so if we're able to get that information, we'll be able to really explode the amount of analytics we can put behind some of our reports. So hopefully we get that soon. We do envision this data as serving as the foundation for our success in the NFT upgrading process. This is really what I think is going to separate us from other guilds. With these resources behind us, by being a guild member, you have access to this information. You'll have that information in real time, and it will help your investment decisions, as you're making those decisions. Last thing I just want to mention, because I know it's a topic that has come up, is the topic of scholarships and renting and profit sharing. I understand it's a central part of why you would join a guild like this, and I'm sure it's a question that someone would ask later on this call, and you're welcome to do so. I'll just front run it a bit by saying we've seen a lot of guilds rush out scholarship programs. A lot of times they're making specific commitments on how their earnings will be split between the guild and the space owner. From our perspective, though, like rushing terms out like this almost guarantees that those terms are going to be amended once Big Time comes out with more information. Is renting even going to be possible? How will space holders be compensated? What is Big Time's cut going to be? How are guilds going to be able to manage guild member utilities? I mean, the questions really go on, right? So I know it's not the answer we want to hear, but we've been dying for this information ourselves. But instead of rushing into it with some more boilerplate terms like some of these other guilds are doing, we're choosing to wait until the details are announced. And once they are, we're going to put forward the plan that best services the guild. In the meantime, though, I will say that we have been talking through some potential options, making certain assumptions, trying to guess what they're going to do, and we have different contingency plans in mind depending on what information comes out. So it's not like we're starting from scratch. And once that information is out, we should be able to turn around the details pretty quickly, so that you're not waiting on it. It's not like we're starting from scratch. So more information to come there. Happy to answer any other questions, though, related to that topic if people have more specific questions. But I will stop there since we're already half past the hour, and we can kick it over then to the prepared questions, if that works for everybody. Leadership team, anything else you guys want to add that I may have missed?
No, sounded great.
Perfect.
Also, no, just one thing maybe, that once we have the information about the renting and all of that, we can also start to look at okay, what tools can we build for it? Not just reports or guides or something like that. Like what can we actually build that you would be able to use on our website? Maybe some modeling, something there, putting different scenarios in. What will the outcome be? Stuff like that. So yeah, it's basically just we have to get the data, and then we can start model it. the best way possible.
Yep. Yeah, and I will say, if people have, and we have a lot of strong guild members here. If people have specific thoughts or ideas on how they envision things to be, we're always open to suggestions, and would definitely take it to heart if anybody wanted to set up a call with us. Sorry, go ahead.
100%.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, and that's kind of the premise of the whole guild, was just using data to drive our decisions. And so we weren't into these emotional decisions. And I think in the end, like, it's going to go so far as like driving our economic strategy, whether it's just recharging hourglasses, if that's the most profitable. We're going to try to stay ahead of those other guilds based on the data that we have access to. So I think that's really, in the end, it's like just the heart and soul of the community, and then collectively with your guys' knowledge, using the data, and then just being at the forefront of this whole community.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
Awesome.
the efficiency of the gamers and understanding the game will be very beneficial for us when those tools come into play, because I think there's going to be a lot of technicalities to getting the resources and stuff, from what I understand, to do this. So it's definitely going to be a collaboration across the board, where we're all going to be, and we have, I think, the best minds in all those areas. So it's going to be a good thing once Big Time gives us what we need.
Yep, agreed. Okay. Yep. All right, good. Let's just go through some of these submitted questions so that we leave some time for people to throw some questions at us. So I'm going to jump right into it. First question that we received: Does Vig have a central account we can donate money to, a guild fund to purchase assets? It sounds like people are looking for a central guild. I'm reading that as to sort of invest together. I think that's what I'm reading. Anyone want to take this one?
Yeah, I can take this one. So right now we are primarily focused on working through developing the entity that's going to be entailed with this. And with the entity being international, there's obviously a lot of laws surrounding this all. So donations, while we do have ideas of how it's going to work, whether it's going to be something like a big time account associated with Vig, whether it's going to be a traditional bank account, wallet outside of Big Time, or a subscription plan through Me6 or something, in the ways of donations. We just haven't worked that all out yet. So while we continue to focus on the entity, that will come in the future. Well, we just want to say thank you to everyone that's been bringing that up, because that obviously does help. Right now, we are the ones that sponsor the tournaments, so we are the ones that donate the money to make that all happen. And we love doing it because we love seeing the tournaments and events and stuff. But we just want to say there's more to come. It's just not complete yet. But thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Emil. All right, next question. What is Vig's stance on open loot / Warpark and potential future games? Anyone want to give their thoughts?
Saying one is
I can answer this one. So I think I understand. I think I understand the question. So I think Big Time handled this wrong, and I think that's why there's been a lot of pushback. When they made that announcement, I was on the AMA. They were saying we're going to announce something huge, and at least from my position, I thought it was going to be some new marketplace tools to support Big Time, and they came out with we're launching this open loot, and by the way, here are some other games we're going to now be spending time on. And then all of a sudden, we started seeing guys, I won't name names, but guys working for Big Time that changed their handle to open loot instead of Big Time, and it looked like they sort of moved off from Big Time, and they were instead going to be focusing on these other games. This is just my personal take on it. So I think it was a lot of the communication we've seen has been subpar from Big Time. I don't think anyone's going to argue that. And this falls into that. I do think that based on some of the conversations I've had with them and some of what I've read, it does seem like these other games that they're pulling in have their own dev teams. And so and correct me if I'm wrong, if people have other information, it seems like it's more that they're going to be a platform to host the NFTs from these other games. In that regard, it's a good thing in my since it will bring more unique buyers potentially into the big time marketplace. I mean, looking at our charts, I saw that there was a bump in market activity after the tank sale. Could have been timing. It could have been something completely unrelated. But more people involved, more people in the ecosystem should be a good thing for big time, as long as they really aren't committing devs to these other projects. So I guess that's where
So what we can say from the, I guess, data perspective with this is that the communication of it has been horrible with this. Like using the big time channels to push other games is definitely not something we support of. But the good thing about having this centralized marketplace is that we actually get all the data from these things as well in our database. So if once there's coming some other qualitative games up there that people would be interested, like will be big time focused for sure. But anyway, we would actually start to be able to build the charts and strategize for these other games as well, because we already have the access to the data. So in that sense, it's a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and I'll add, we did have immediately right when that was launched, we got on a Telegram with them, leadership team, with their team right under big time to address it. So things like this, we definitely go straight to them and say, hey, this is what the community is thinking. This is the vibe we're getting. These are the concerns. So we went straight to them, and they definitely addressed it and said a number of developers are dedicated to big time, and all the commitment that they had to building the best game, because obviously that's where our heart and our focus is at this point. To the other guy's point, the future, it opens up potential more gamers, so that's a good thing. And then the other thing is it gives us a pivot point. Say big time doesn't have the success we're looking for, but one of these other games does. It does give us an opportunity to pivot future. That's not the plan. But it just gives us more market opportunity. And if they do hit a home run with a launcher, right, kind of like the Epic launcher, that's what I'm envisioning. This is like you just pull up a launcher, drop down, launch the game. If for some reason, a couple or many of these hit, hopefully big time is the one, but it just gives us options in the future to grow and kind of just
so we are hitting around 25 participants, which means that that's the maximum when we are having a video on. So we'll be killing our video now so that more people can join the stage.
Killed. Let's keep it going then. Oh, this is definitely a Jedi question. This is going to you. You guys say you have a good relationship with big time leadership. Why will they not listen to us?
Oh man, yeah, this is a good one for me because I've answered it quite a few times. So here's the deal. I think that earlier, Big Yield did a great job in using a word to define our relationship with big time that I haven't heard before. He said they're our client. And I think that's an approach that we really see them as, that we're actually an entity of our own that is providing a community that is interested in big time, but we're actually we're in collaboration with them or in partnership with them, but they're really like our client. And I think that's one thing that I think they are listening. It's just the expectation of the relationship. Since big time has given us direct communication, that's different than usually any game does. Like, you can't just go to Epic Games and say, we want you to do this, this, and this. But we have kind of been given some communication with that. So just in essence, us having that communication with our client is definitely a benefit to us. That being said, they hear us, but they don't always, choose our advice, which I wish they would. I think we have the best feedback and the best statistics and the best minds and the best gamers of anybody out there. But it really, it is what it is. But really, I think we kind of have to change our perspective that we are in a privileged spot. This game isn't even out. It's in beta. Whether we believe it or not, Big Time has been open to us providing them with information and ideas that have been implemented. Now, it might not look exactly like we did it. It might not look exactly how we want it. It might not be as fast as we want it. But they are listening to us. I think the gaming committee with Buck. I think just a lot of different things that they are our client though. Like, we are our own entity, but we're working with them. We have to have a relationship with them because both of our existence are dependent upon each other. And it has to be a respectful and a mutually beneficial relationship, but we have to be patient in order for that to manifest. That's how I see our relationship with Big Time.
That last part's really well said, Jedi, and I'll just piggyback on that, when we say kind of client, it's not really like, oh, let me service you. It's more of like, how can I be in a partnership with you and maximize our relationship? So the more that we work with them and partner with them, the more access we get to AMAs, more access we get to events like last week when they had new space holders come in the game. They gave us first night opportunity to go into game and scoop the new space holders, right? We were first one out of the gate. So that's kind of why we do manage them, the relationship like a client, is so that we get the first choice on these community events that they work on. We're the first field that they think of. That's our goal. But it's not blind allegiance. It's not that we're not frustrated. It's just we have to be constructive with our message to them, or otherwise we're going to alienate them. As much as we want to tell them straight exactly how it is, unfiltered, it's not productive for the relationship, because we do kind of depend on them, and we do want them to lean on us so that we can help shape the game. And that's really
agreed.
what
their success is our success, right? And we're really never going to censor people. I think there's like I've heard people say that we always side with Big Time, but it's just that we have aligned goals here, so we want them to succeed. And Big Yield said it perfectly. Any way we can craft our message to increase the chance that they succeed is how we want to do it, instead of just bashing them. So feel free to vent in the chat. You're not going to get in trouble for it. We just try to stay positive and keep our eyes on sort of the long-term vision of the guild.
And if we want to go off and DM with each other, that's great. But let's try to keep positive, not just with Big Time, but our overall conversation is that's kind of how we were formed. I think that's why our community grew so quick, was the great resources, the inviting attitude, and the kind, positive interactions. And I think there's just something to be said for that. It's not censoring anybody. It just isn't that productive. If you feel the need to go off in DMs like all day long. But let's try to keep the message positive. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Elias.
No, you're good. That was better said. Okay, so we have 10 minutes, and I'm sure we can go a little over if we need to. I'm actually going to pivot right now. We can come back to some of the other submitted questions if we have time, but I don't want this to run out without people having a chance to chat. So,
good idea.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Has anyone posted any questions to the chat? Can't tell. Use creator code Sneaky. Okay, Sneaky, we got it. If anybody has questions, just feel free to unmute yourself and ask it.
Fire, whoever just unmuted themselves. Treaty, was it you? NFT!
All right, well, as people think of their questions, I'll go back to the submitted questions. What are you guys going to do to support international guild members? Who wants to take that?
Yeah, so I can jump in a little bit, and we're definitely, that's part of the relationship management that we're talking about, and why we want this good relationship is so we can ask for things like this. But as of last week, we realized a lot of the community events or the AMAs that happen there, they tend to be U.S. based hours. So we've asked if they had some flexibility for our guild members and our international members to, hold some of these stuff in off hours, whether it's Asia Pacific, things like that. So, and then they also agreed to potentially doing some of these events in foreign languages. I think there was some different communities that haven't really had AMAs or events that were in their language like French. So this is what we're kind of pushing. If there's ideas or time zones that everybody kind of lines up in, keep us posted. But we do hear you.
And we are trying to do that as well, right? Because we are already international community. You are in America, we are in Europe, and we also have a lot of guild members from Asia and Australia and so on. So, for example, this time we picked for our AMA fits most. People in Asia will be there morning. It's late evening for me, like it's almost midnight. And for you in America, it's also like after work hours now. So we are definitely having that focus that we're trying to include everybody, and this was also shown in the Vig tourney that we had. Like like we are aiming to have hours that fit most places around the world. It can never be perfect, but we are really trying to do it.
Okay, cool.
And if there's suggestions of how that can be better, like, ask it here or even DM us. Let us know. Help us help you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Come on, guys. There's got to be questions out there. Are we that good? I know that's not the case.
No.
All right, moving on. I'll move on to the next one then.
Okay.
How do you envision the scholarship program to work? So, I think I covered this earlier, but I guess I can give you an example of one of our visions if certain information it falls the way we expect it or we hope it does. So I think, and this is going to tie into scholarship, but also renting. Really, like, what's the guild's role in all this, right? We envision that Big Time's going to introduce some form of guild management tools come full release, or maybe a little after full release. Something that essentially allows guilds to serve as the custodian for guild member space and utilities. So again, we're working with assumptions here, but let's assume that's the scenario. So we envision that space and utility owning guild members will essentially be depositing their NFTs in the guild inventory, and then that inventory can be used by other guild members to either farm tokens or upgrade NFTs, that sort of thing. It sounds like Big Time is still working. I don't know if they may have resolved it by now, but I think they were working on the legal and tax implications of some of that. I think that's what's maybe delaying some of this. So, if and when they figure that out, we envision that space owners would essentially receive a royalty or a rental fee whenever their space or hourglass or utility is used or rented out. So the guild essentially serves as the broker of that process. They've matched the space utility renter with the owner. We envision that it's going to be more advantageous to do this through a guild than doing it solo, since a lot of what we heard from Big Time is that the upgrading process, especially at the high rarity levels, becomes so onerous, so complicated and intensive that it really takes a guild effort to upgrade NFTs at those higher levels. So obviously being part of a guild and being an owner of these utilities in space, you benefit by being able to even reach these levels. But by depositing it with the guild inventory, assuming they have something like that, your NFTs would then be cycled into this process. So even if you're not involved in it, if your piece is being used, we assume that there'd be some sort of compensation for that if that's the route Big Time goes. Probably tokens, whatever it is.
And then there's just the other aspects, like we can talk, like scholarships are definitely, a Web3 thing. If you just look at it in traditional gaming, being part of guilds and communities have always been a big part of games. And if Big Time transitions into this advanced game like World of Warcraft, let's say it like that, people will have different interests. Some people will think it's super fun to farm ores and do that kind of stuff, or trade in the auction house. So it's basically just being a community with different strong suits and interests, so that we can kind of cover all areas and work together as a bigger entity. That's the goal, right? So that people can focus on what they like to do, and hopefully, together we can all prospect by having the close relationship with each other.
Yep, well said.
For sure.
Okay, cool. So hopefully that's all just based on assumptions and hopes. So none of that, we can't commit to anything until we have that information. Hopefully it comes soon. But it's fun to think about it, right? And we have a channel for theory crafting. I encourage people to use it where we can talk about these sort of things. We'll do one more. I'll try to pick a quick one, and then we can end since we're at the top of the hour. Can we get an AMA with Big Time again? Anyone?
Yeah, I can take that one. Big Time is definitely on board. Matt, the guild guy, is definitely on board with us getting another AMA, and with Big Time. And we are kind of prepping for this, looking for information. We'll definitely get feedback from the community when this happens. The one thing about it is we want it to be an AMA that actually has some substance, not just have an AMA to have an AMA. So we are somewhat waiting a little bit on Big Time to, make some announcements and stuff. So then we can, when they do that, then we can kind of narrow down those questions to get some productive and relevant information.
Yep, exactly. I think right after they announced the economy details, which they say should be the next thing they announce, we'll talk to them in advance and say as soon as that comes out, we'd like to schedule something. That way, we're not just asking the same questions that have already been answered, right?
Yeah, it just annoys everybody when that's the case, and we want to avoid that.
Yeah.
So we will definitely get that in line when there's stuff that can be answered, I think.
All right. Cool.
That's my perspective.
All right, one last chance for questions, unless someone else had something to ask. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, and Big Time also has a space, Thursday night space,
Twitter Spaces with Big Time
training type scenario where we get advertisement for VIG for new people to come in and be trained. So from 8 to 10 EST tonight, I think it was 8 to 10. I'm going to be in there trying to get new people to come and learn how to play, the new space holders that don't have passes but got in through space. So
cool.
Thank you so much, guys. Really would like to hear a couple questions from you, but it looks like the time's just about gone. If someone wants to throw one in, they can. But if not, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys to the max. We love our community. And please DM us if you have any questions.
Yep, likewise. Thank you all.
Trevi,
Thanks, guys.
you unmuted yourself. Do you have a question, Trevi?
Who is it? Trevi?
No. Well, guys, these questions that you have, it doesn't have to be about the game. It can also be to us.
Appreciate it. All right,
Is there anything like on your heart that you would like to know or that you're curious about? When Moon.
Yeah, right.
For some of us, that will take some time, but hopefully, once the game launches and that
wants to know when Moon.
It's out there. We have the full storyline and questing and all of that will come automatically. I guess that leads kind of into that there has been it's visible on the servers that there is less active people, and I know that some people are worried about that. Personally, I'm not so worried. Again, I think it's a quite common thing in gaming in general, also in World of Warcraft, that you see it now with every expansion, right? When the expansion launches, there's full of people going into the new content, and once they have gotten to the top of it, it kind of gets a little bit quiet again. But hopefully, when we have the full game and all the mechanics and so on, the quiet times will not be as obvious as it is now. It is just right now there is only dungeon running and farming NFTs, and it's it can get tiresome for anybody. So just because there's not a lot of people in the in the voice chats and playing and so on, I don't that's not something I'm personally worried about. That much, because it's like the silence before the storm, right? So the moment we are having a substantial update, I'm sure that everybody will just return and get back into it and enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, great.
Yeah, great job with the contest this weekend, guys. Talking about gaming and stuff. That was awesome.
Thunder
Congrats
actually
to
had
the
a
winners.
question. Thunder,
Thanks everybody else. But
yeah,
that's kind of
it
the
is going to be.
drive and stuff
it's
like
being
that.
recorded,
as the new content
and
comes
we're
out,
hoping to upload it to some of our
game, and as it's
social media stuff. So you will be able to watch it again. And of course, you can run a transcript off YouTube if you want. But and I know how it goes with that full-time job. Trust me, I got 2 of them. But we're glad you showed up for when you could.
We also got one more question here from Just Call Me, and I can't see what the italics of that last.
It's Tappen.
Tappen?
Tap.
Okay.
Tap. Just call me Tap.
Sorry, I'm going to butcher it. But, cool. But, yeah, so we got you saying, what are y'all going to do about dealing with full release with info, since there will be a lot of info for the game hitting y'all at the same time? Will y'all go towards a robot, compacting the data? Good point. And what are we going to do to pitch in? Okay, so I can take this a little bit. So we right now are working on a lot of the data that's going to be needed for determining how we're going to, as you say, compact the financial models. And what that means is that we want to be able to take, price of the big time token, price of NFTs by rarity, whatever it may be, and given a certain day at a certain time, as we get more information, feed that into an algorithm or so, and be able to tell you, it is better for you right now, ROI-wise, to do this versus this. That's kind of where we see a lot of the end game here and how that's going to be happening. And so whether that can be achieved with us through a bot, we have some crazy technical minds here that are awesome programmers, so that would be amazing. But in traditional finance sense, then basically, models can take place and updated through databases as well, just on the back end. Robots, I'm sure, could be faster, but that would be Jimmy and Waz area of expertise. But yeah, so that's what we kind of plan on doing right now. We're working on a lot of the tools. Some tools you also see coming out just to think about is technical analysis stuff. So SMAs, RSIs for all the pieces that you see out there. We're just working on a bunch of tools right now. We don't know really what's going on with the economy. Once we do have that, then be sure to get ready because it's going to be fast and quick right out the gate, I'm sure.
We're all saving up our vacation from work.
Yep.
Apple good.
There he is.
Are you guys' microphones working?
Are we getting any more questions coming in?
Sorry. Treevy, give me an NFT so I know you exist. Please. NFT! Okay, we're good.
All right, guys.
It's
If
working.
there's any questions, feel free to.
Sweet.
Cool. Anything else? Last chance.
Should we wait for Tab? Okay. All right, it looks like sounds like that's it. Awesome, guys.
We have
Thank you for tuning in.
Tab said one more. He wrote, as a Ruble player, I have 50 NFTs.
Yeah,
Is that luck or grind?
Let's go. We should have left like 2 minutes ago.
Having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, no.
Hold on a second.
That's also obvious. Like for
I don't know if the
the
silver players
VIP
want to hear
passes,
that. Let's
like
get all the
you can
silver
say,
players
have they
and black
been
real
worth
quick.
it? I don't know if
Sorry.
gold have even been worth it anymore.
No.
For the drop rate, the drop rate has definitely been best doing Ruby, and also for the higher rarity of NFTs. Basically, what everybody saw during silver was uncommon green color NFTs, So definitely they have turned it way more up now, and that can be because of many things. It can be just to get people in and grind more. Hopefully, like what we can hope for, there's no promise, right, is that we somehow will get compensated in a different way in the future. They can still do that. But yeah, definitely. The Ruby time has been the best time to grind.
So I was a silver guy. I pretty much had somebody running my account, me or my son, 24/7, and I ended up with 32 NFTs, okay? I paid like $2,400, I think, for my silver pass, but like the friendships and like all the fun I had, totally worth it. Totally worth it. So if these things bounce up, people are throwing their NFTs out there for no money, so I've gotten a lot more. When you look at the time I spent playing, I loved it. I wouldn't trade it for really anything, but at the same time, I think the satisfaction I got, and that's just me, but the satisfaction I got from meeting and playing with all these guys was just as good as your 50 Ruby NFTs. So maybe not from the NFT perspective, but I think from the experience with the NFTs I got perspective, and with where we're going to be going eventually, I think it's definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Marketplace has the best drop rates.
Yeah, for sure.
I've been saying that for months.
For your time, too. The most efficient for your time.
%, baby. Hey, Tap, I just want to say, actually, in all seriousness, that is really impressive. And it's a combination of you grinding hard, using good skill, and, keep it up, man. So, my gold pass, I don't know if it's worth it or not, but in the end, it's fun, like Jedi said. So great job. Keep grinding, man. Like, I love seeing it, dude. I love seeing people's successes. When the NFT goes over my head, lands somebody else.
You
I'm
haven't
cool with it.
lost
So
yet.
great job.
Let's word
Seriously,
this right.
keep it up, guys. Like,
You
that's
haven't
what
sold,
I'm
have
here for,
you?
is
You
to
haven't lost yet.
kind of build that, you know, when we're gaming, we're having fun. Like, I've lost so much money or whatever. Who cares? Like, I want this to be kind of fun and camaraderie and fun, competitive in that regard. So great job, Tap. Dexo and your legendary.
Take care.
And
Thanks,
if you have
everyone.
No.
if you have questions, you know, you can always DM us. It's like we are not that far away from you guys, even though we might not be active all the time.
Anyways,
and so
guys,
on.
I gotta run. Seriously, thank you, everybody.
so,
If there's any
like,
questions, feel free to hit us up.
Write to us if there's
This
anything
team's amazing, community's
that you
amazing,
think
but
that
I
we
really
could do
appreciate
better
your
in
time
the guild, or yeah, like just in general, or you have ideas for events that we could do, stuff like that. We are definitely open-minded for all of it. So
100%.
yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, guys.